We go back for another hobby hang with the boys. What are you
Yeah, the
guys
boys.
what are you guys up to? I'm here working on a Spectral Spinner Prime.
What the
What a
hell is that?
name.
It's an Artel warp spider, basically. Warp spider Phoenix
Oh,
Lord. But for legal purposes, it's a spectral spinner, not a warp spider.
of course.
Yeah.
I will interject.
hmm
I don't think. Oh no, never mind. You are live now.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I usually have your stream open to just make sure.
I appreciate that. Good looking
And
out.
it just went on, so you're good. Spectral Prime, you're doing that. I didn't really have anything planned today. Mostly because I just housework I've been working on, but I'll probably get a Tyranid or something on the table. Maybe put some basic shit on.
Nice. Nice. I noticed while I was painting like gnarly mold lines, and I have to bear the consequences.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yep.
No.
It is my curse. Who am I?
Kill switch engage.
I don't know. I was just I think I was trying to go for a Spider-Man reference. He's like, "This is my curse" or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Who am I? And he's like, starts swinging. He starts swinging in New York. His curse.
I'm Spider-Man.
Oh, Toby's
Oh.
the best.
Hello, Kit Bash Carnage. Welcome. Welcome to the cool club.
Yeah, the cool guy club.
You guys.
Mm-hmm. How thin should paints be, generally speaking?
Thin?
Yeah. How thin is too thin if you're trying to paint with thin coats? You know?
When you're putting it on and it's like disintegrating.
No, well that becomes a glaze, and that's also a
so that's-
useful.
But that's not what he's doing, so it's too thin.
No, it all depends, because then
Oh my god, I'm fighting this guy.
yeah, well, you're just an airbrush Andy, and that's all you are.
You're just jealous.
Honestly, like 2-1. When it starts to bead on the wet palette, it's usually too wet.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes the sense.
Yeah, you're correct, but I'm saying if he's going for glaze consistency to paint,
You heard that, chat. I'm correct.
oh my fuck,
He's already drunk, you can tell.
drunk with
What?
power.
What? What?
What? ¿Por qué? Hey, when do you want these Space Marines, by the way?
Oh. I don't know. Whenever you come to get your Chaos Space Marines.
Baby Seal finally gave me money for the friggin' Riptide.
That's because I gave it to him yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Funny. He was so happy too.
He was pumped.
Good. Oh, I mean, he got it for $60. Like, Riptide's $120.
Well, he was also super pumped it was magnetized.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't, I'd probably just give it to him for free.
Gotta pay for those magnets.
Wow, just this loaded. Like, you ever, like, well, you guys don't really buy too much secondhand, or do you?
What? I'd say like the majority of my models have bought secondhand.
Fair share.
Oh, okay.
Fair share. But
Anyway, like, doesn't it,
used.
don't you find it, like, sucky when you buy something secondhand and it's, like, the complete wrong loadout and, like, there's nothing you can do about it?
It's not ideal.
Yeah,
It's not ideal, but if the price is right, well, that's the cost.
true. Well, in the case of a Riptide, and the prices,
Oh,
if it
price
didn't
is
have
very
the
good,
other
and
gun.
and it's magnetized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's happy. That's That's the last of the Tau stuff that I. Oh no, I forgot to give him. I have like really crappy old Tau models, like third edition Tau models that like nobody would want, and they're destroyed too.
Like the old crisis suits, the really blocky ones.
Yeah, the old Crisis suits. Old
I kind
Power
of like
Warriors.
that look. I won't lie to you.
Anyway, I was gonna just give it to him for like either he can cannibalize parts off of it, or like I put Tyranid models on my Tyranid bases. Like you could put like a broken Crisis suit on like a Riptide, like it's defending it or some shit.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You can make it dynamic looking. Anyway, next time I see him, I'll just I'm just gonna clear out as much as I can. Yeah, I've got that chaplain on bike here. You can just have Artemis. I found those heavy intercessors, and then you remember when? Do you remember when I had you like order from? I forget what that 3D print site is. The Puppets War or something like that.
Shape. Well, yeah. Pop
Shit,
goes the monkey.
Pop goes the monkey. Anyway, I've got all the shoulder pads in there that are Deathwatch themed. If you want them, you can have them. If not,
Well, I don't use the Deathwatch shoulder pads.
if you want them, you can have them because you complain when I throw out bits, and they're technically bits.
Okay.
The hostility is palpable.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They weren't cheap.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not the first time I bought something that just ends up never getting used or goes in the garbage.
Delusions of grandeur.
Look, sometimes you have an idea that you're really excited about, and you're really confident you're gonna see it through, and it just never happens. It's just part of the hobby, all right?
Sure.
We were all excited for melon heads.
Deathwatch? Well,
Yeah.
I put a wow. Okay, to keep in mind, I put a lot of effort into like all the names and the themes, and it was when I was in,
Yeah.
and the lore, but it was because I had a lot of free time when I was in the office because my office work was really brain dead, and I had like 4 to 6 hours a day to just sit there and
Like
do nothing.
Theorycraft? Yeah.
Well, so I worked on a lot of spreadsheets in the office, and then I was just like, oh fuck it, I'll just make a spreadsheet of all these like Deathwatch characters for every kill team, and I mean maybe one day I go back to it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I doubt it. But it was funny too because like at the time my boss would come in. He's like, "Oh, what are you working on? You got a spreadsheet?" And like it's like color coded, but he's got crappy vision because he's like an older dude, and he's like, "Oh, color coded looks really good. Make sure you send that to me later." I'm like, "You got it."
It's just no, I hear you. And if you go back to it, like in the future, you always have that option. But for for the context of chat, like it's such a like Melon's concept for the Deathwatch he had. It was such a exciting idea to our whole hobby community because it basically incorporated characters in his kill team from all of our Space Marine chapters, right? So you have this like I don't know how to describe it. This like camaraderie that excites everybody. Where you're like, oh, I want to see my guy in your. I want to send him to the Deathwatch. You know, it's very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of models that I was starting. Like they're all blue tacked together with bits. Remember when we would do those like big bits orders? I would just be like, I want, this bit from Blood Angels, this bit from. So they're in a box in the corner. But if I get to it, I get to it. I did all the like legwork for writing, and I looked up so many chapters. Like I didn't make a single chapter up except for one, and that was it. Like the rest of them were either like official chapters, like that I would just go on like Lexicum or whatever, and or from you guys, whatever character I'd be like, here, what do you want? Do you want a tech marine? Do you want a leader of a squad? Do you want a sergeant? Do you want a Terminator? And
yeah, it's the coolest. Yeah, and I'm sharing the details not to pressure you, but to share the idea, because if someone in chat likes it, they should do it in their group.
Steal it.
Well, it's so good, man. Like, the community morale is just gets hyped.
Yeah.
And everyone wants you to win because it's like they're on your team.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you playing? Oh, I'll kick his ass.
Yeah. Because like the nice thing was you could even incorporate like you gotta model it a little bit, but even just doing things like if your friends only play chaos, you can make them black shields and they're like ambiguously chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Like
cool.
one of our friends plays both Thousand Suns and World Eaters, so I have like he's got like the World Eater's helmet, but like it's pretty less trimmy, like it's very old,
like the old style.
Yeah, and I put him on an Outrider, so he was like an Outrider guy. And then with his Thousand Suns, I made it a librarian, so I just picked up some Thousand Sun bits, put on some like loyalist pads and stuff like that, and you get some of the crazy iconography from Thousand Suns off, and bing bang boom, it's good.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't think it works anymore. Can librarians still take jump packs?
No.
Oh, then yeah. Because I started that project in 9th edition. It was for the 9th edition book.
Look, eventually there'll be some FOMO box with a new Space Marine character, and he'll be called Librarian with Jump Pack.
Yeah, Primaris Librarian with Jump Pack.
Yeah, maybe. Tacticus keyword.
Tacticus.
Bullshit. Whatever. Look, you can take librarians with jump packs in your heart, okay?
Oh yeah, I mean, one of these days I'm gonna make my own custom chapter or custom rule set and just play your word bearers, and then
hell yeah,
all is good in the world.
Everything is pure.
I don't know how I'm going to separate all this because I have so many of these Indominus paths of like the Necron versus Space Marine box.
So it's like lots of Blade Guard guys?
Yeah, like tons of Blade Guard guys, the captain, the lieutenants.
Oh yeah, I think we went.
Yeah, I got a half from you. But I got a half of a half from you because you only wanted very specific things out of there, and I said I didn't give a shit. I'll just take whatever I get.
Right.
But then another guy went half. He wanted Necron, so I got the other half. So yeah, I have like so many of these.
I like the chaplain that comes in that box set. Is he even available to buy anymore, or is he gone? That's it. I
don't know. Maybe he's gone. Maybe I'm sitting on a small gold mine.
Yeah. You just have like chaplains on chaplains from Indominus.
Yeah.
Rare sculpt, discontinued.
Oh yeah, discontinued. Sake.
Yeah, near mint.
So I have, what is this, 20? Is this 10 or 20? I want to say 20 assault intercessors.
Oh, the poses of those assault intercessors are actually cooler, in my opinion, than the multi-part plastic ones.
Oh yeah, they're a little more sprintier.
Yeah, more dynamic. I see Volginwar's message in chat. It has been acknowledged. I appreciate that you are enjoying the VODs. Let posterity know that his message was seen.
Welcome.
Yeah,
I don't even think you can, I'm looking it up, I don't even think you can get that chaplain anymore.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Cool boy for cool dudes.
It felt more classic, like the 8th edition chaplain was very like, I am the coolest, It was a bit too cool for me. I like that more plain chaplain look. Why is this guy trying so hard to be cool with his hood and then his His cloak and shit, yeah.
What else is here? Blade Guard, there's those Melta guys, Eradicators.
Oh, Eradicators are sick.
They are sick. They're also quite good right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for a Meltagun, very good.
Yeah. I've got a box of Eradicators. Full box. I've got some Primaris Intercessors.
Oh, those are all good. Army, you should buy the whole lot.
If I had the money, I would just take it off them because like it'll get used eventually, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, I do not have unlimited funds at the moment.
Nah, that's fine. I'm just checklisting at this point.
Yeah.
2 boxes of Eliminators when they were a little cooler than they used to be, when they could shoot through walls. Remember that?
Oh, dude, it was Wanted. That's what I imagined.
Yeah, curve the bullet.
They curve the bullet.
Yeah.
They didn't even shoot through walls.
Yeah.
The sniper rifle.
And 1 box of Infiltrators, which are quite good.
Yeah, they're very useful. Well, I will definitely take. I'll have to check the old bank account. I'll take as much as I'll definitely take with the. I definitely want some of it.
No worries, amigo. I also can just leave it to the side whenever.
I need to relist some of the stuff I want to sell. That would free up some. Whenever I sell Warhammer, I'm like, aha! I can buy more.
That's the trap.
Tell me about it. I think I already gave you 2nd edition Rangers, right?
Yeah. Yes, I have them. They're charming. The old Eldar stuff holds up pretty well, I think.
Oh yeah. I agree.
And I like some of the poses of those old Scorpions too. They're all like super like squatted, you know, like super crab stance. It's very fun.
Hell yeah.
They're stalking. You can't see me.
Yeah. No, I just think it's funny that like you just have the new stuff and then also a little bit of the old stuff, like your Banshees, your Dire Vendors. You just need some Guardians.
I don't have 2nd edition Guardians. I have
No, I know you don't.
The stuff I got from Bigler, or I guess the stuff he gave to Doc and that Doc gave to me, is still plastic Guardians. I have more of those than I would. I don't know what to do with them. There's no incentive to build Guardians.
No, even right now, it's just 1 unit.
Yeah.
One unit's really, really good. Gives you 8 dice every turn for 5 turns. It's pretty much all you want to take. Like even with the like battle line stuff, it's still not that great. There once was like a time where like a big unit of 20 was pretty scary in
Ulthway, right?
Ulthway, because of the shurikens.
Oh, Guardians of the Black Guardians or something. They had a cool name for that stratagem. It was very, very, very cool.
Yeah, you could make them really shooty and tanky. Like put Feel No Pain on them, give them an invul. They shot 40 shots. They hit on 2s. They re-rolled the wounds from Doom. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Eldar Psychic powers. Just make any unit deadly. That's so powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking brutal.
There's I get it. You know, I get it, but different time.
Yeah. They're in a better spot, I guess, right now. They're like nicely cemented in the.
They are. I kind of regret not doing the Phoenix Force earlier when the Eldar were more busted, because like I feel like it just would have held up better against like the more average competitive lists of our group. Because now, without Guardians, without an Autarch, it's like I feel like everything in Eldar's been balanced to the competitive list. That one competitive standard, right? And now when I play my Phoenix Force, it's like, well, kind of awkward, right? Or obviously it's an awkward concept, but it would be less awkward if at the time of launch is all I mean.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, honestly, just the Autarch is like still the most busted thing to take. Like specifically the jumpy one.
Yeah, it was a nice, easy screen out unit, very effective, right? Just a fate dice on a melta-gun, right? Or a fusion gun.
Oh, he could be naked. He could have nothing.
He could have nothing and still good value. Fair enough.
Yeah, even at like whatever he is, 120 points. It's because he gives a CP every turn and he's blown up.
Yep.
And he moves 12 inches.
Very useful.
Yeah, he's But I mean, the more you raise his points, the more it's like, well, why is this guy, the elf that he is, more points than like, I don't know, Helbrecht or fucking Marnius Calgar or whatever.
Well, it just becomes awkward, right? Like at that point, you can't just rely on points. You'll have to change the unit if it's that big of a problem.
Yeah, they're becoming a little less reluctant to changing data sheets, like with the AdMech change and and the Tyranid one, but they I don't think they should go too crazy with like rules changes, but especially the egregious ones should probably get like a shift here and there.
Quite possibly. Like they have changed abilities on like wraiths, like they have, right?
Yeah.
God, how I wish Phantasm was like flat 6 for Guardians. That'd be so good. or infantry, right?
Just Guardians.
The gross, you think the Phantasm was like wraiths and vehicles.
Yeah.
And when I Phantasm my Autarch on foot with Guardians, is it gross? Is it? Am I being a rude player? I don't think so. Okay. I think it's totally fine.
I don't think so.
You're bad. You're a bad man.
Don't listen to him. His favorite playstyle is fucking Space Marine Baby Jail. Just put everything in your deployment zone.
His favorite playstyle is, what do you like to do? You don't get to do that anymore.
Yeah, stop it. But yeah, I think Eldar is in a happier place.
Yeah, like I understand the reason for the nerfs. It's just what it always is, right? There's competitive abuse in lists, and then things get nerfed, and then there are casualties elsewhere, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just the nature of it. It sucks. It's been that way since 8th edition, right? Or, well, for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, I switched. I went from when I bought into Eldar in 8th. I mean, I wanted them to be my like really competitive army, so I did the plane thing, like the multiple jet fighters, with the Yanari, and then that went downhill or got changed.
Yeah, and then if you were someone who just liked planes, you're just like, oh, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
the planes
more so what I'm speaking to, but yeah. I feel
the planes have always been like a poor spot. Then I switched over to tanks, and I really, really like the tanks, and that's when that was like my own concoction of just 12 grav tanks in a single list, nothing else. So I like that one. Now that doesn't work. It's not able to be played that way anymore, and I don't know. I just haven't really found a good place for Eldar. I have a ton of Harlequins that probably won't see the light of day for a long time. Just because they're in like bad army jail right now, like because of all the shit
The 9th edition stuff.
Yeah, just Harlequins are like bad touch army.
I also wonder if putting them in the Craft Worlds Index is kind of not allowing them to shine properly. You know what I mean? So
I just don't think they should be out of there anymore because.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, I don't disagree with that. I just mean like maybe if they have a Harlequin detachment, then maybe that that perhaps restricts units. Maybe you get some really interesting rules or something.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like Harlequins to at least get like, maybe. Well, I mean, with the way that they're designing these sort of books, I can only imagine them getting just their own singular detachment, but that's gonna be like tacked on with the rest of the Eldar, like similar to how Tau was. Like Kroot is like an external part to Tau, just like the Harlequins are to Eldar, and it's just gonna be like, or even like with Chaos and the Cultist detachment, it's just gonna be like it's gonna take up a slot. It's gonna take up a detachment slot.
Yeah, one detachment will be a Harlequins one, like almost certainly.
Yeah, but that means that we're locked into whatever it may be. So it's not going to be the days of like, oh, am I, the mime one, the mask one, or the like, whatever it was, the laughing dice or whatever, the Kagarox dice.
Right. With all the different. Yeah, you won't have all those different options just for Harlequins. You'll have like options like, oh, I'll play the not same Han detachment, and then I'll just take all my Harlequins in there, and then now I'm faster. Now that's my fast Harlequin detachment. Or something. Like, you'll have to kind of backdoor it, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that I can already picture like what all the detachments are going to be in Eldar, because it's literally just going to be some sort of like Seer Council one, some sort of same Han one, maybe like a Phoenix one, like a Phoenix Force Bail-Tan one, and then a Harlequin one.
Yeah, I don't.
And probably the what's it called, the Index one, and then that's it.
Yeah, I don't know what to. I hope for something more creative,
One or two of those I could probably see just out the door, right? Like, I feel like the Wraith one will be there. Like, Wraiths are just like, there's always a fucking Eandon one. There's always something that, because like, it's just like people who play Tau, and they play Tau strictly for suits. There are people that play Eldar strictly for Wraiths.
Yep.
And
for sure,
it's just like an aspect of that army that they like. And that I feel like there will always be a detachment for that. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. And to be honest, it probably should lean towards bad, because you don't want another situation where like the Wraith Knight comes back like full force.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, I like the Wraith Knight as a model. Like, I think it's a cool model, and I like to see it on the table. But there are just two aspects of the Wraith Knight. It's either busted or shit. There's no in between. There's no middle ground. And my favorite version of the Wraith Knight has never been good, which is the sword one. There has like literally never been a situation where the sword Wraith Knight has been like, this is unbeatable. This is the the one unit in the game that cannot be stopped. It's always the fucking cannon. And for a small stint, the Sun Cannon was pretty good. Way back in the past, it was the amount of shots, because it used to do small blasts. It had like a good profile for it. Yeah, the Wraith Knight is pretty brutal. But yeah, I really just want to focus on
the mid wave. Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm just
It's
really...
not often that it's in a spot where you're excited, so I definitely ride that wave.
Yeah, as long as it keeps this going, I don't give a fuck what happens. Like,
Don't give a fuck.
yeah, like they can remove the whole. I don't think they will. They'll probably just have the points of either the zone throw or the Neuro Tyrant. But as long as they just keep that +1 strength thing going on based on Synapse, which is my favorite because I'm getting a benefit for my strategic movement, including my Synapse aura, right?
Yeah, Synapse should give you some affordance, like not just morale.
It's tight too. Like it's not like, oh, my fucking Synapse guy's like way the fuck over there, right? Like it's 6 inches. Like so I gotta keep like things that are not already Synapse like real close to like a Synapse target. And it's like fun. Like fun for me. Not everybody is like that, but I just think it's a good gain for a nominal benefit, like a small benefit.
Yeah, it's significant. Certainly significant.
Still just sitting here waiting for Maliceptors to come back.
Just waiting. Just refreshing the page.
Well, okay, so
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not wrong. I check pretty much every day. But I have a couple of lists that require them. And I shouldn't say require, but I want them. They synergize really well with the 2 lists that I'm kind of screwing around with. But I have a Crusher Stampede list that wants them because they're a monster and they have an invul and they provide I think it's -1 to
something.
wound.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to make them hardier, right? Or it's a debuffing, and it's an aura for enemy units, I think, right?
Yeah, so I have a list for them in that, and I have a list for them in assimilation, or not assimilation, the psychic one, Synaptic Nexus. Because I want to do a list that really pushes the Synaptic Nexus kind of like beta play, like it's like counterplay, like beta striking. So I want to be able to have things that can like receive a hit and then follow it back up. And so I've been like kind of farting around with like the idea of using the Norn Emissary because it's Synapse and it's got a lot better with the Synapse changes because now it's strength 10, which means it's a good break point for mid-level tanks, and wounding Terminators on 2 is pretty good, and it's damage 3. And then it's Melt-A-Gun, Melt-A-Laser Gun is really good into like heavier tanks. Like 2 of those, because they're so cheap, kind of moving up the midfield. They're really tanky. Utilizing something like Swarm Lord to generate the CP because Synaptic Nexus has an Armor of Contempt stratagem. It's only 1 CP. So utilizing something like that. And then now that the Parasite of Mortrex, I saw this on, I think it was Art of War or Vanguard Tactics, one of them. But because the Parasite of Mortrex gained the Synapse keyword, he can now take an enhancement, and one of the enhancements is like 15 points. It's called the Dirge of something. It's just a 9-inch aura of -1 leadership, along with things like the -1 leadership next to something that is Synapse, on top of the Neuro Tyrant, who's just going to make you shittier at rolling leadership, and then utilizing a few things like Death Leaper and like a couple of other units. You can kind of push this like targeted area of where you can really punish the leadership aura of like a specific thing, and then just like dogpile onto this one section. So that's like the idea. So I just wanted to use the emissaries, a Maliceptor, and a couple of other like big heavy Synapse units that push the midfield, because I find that Tyranids don't hold midfield all that well, but they can kind of just throw copious amounts of bodies onto the like center objective.
No, I feel you. It sounds though like the list you're describing would be pretty good at holding the midfield. 2 Norns, right?
Yeah, it's 11 or
It's a lot of
16 wounds, 4 up invul, 2 up save. If they're on the objective, they're 15 OC each of their chosen, and then they get 5 up feel no pain, and 4 up feel no pain for mortals, which are now dev wounds again.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. It's honestly like when you describe it, it's how I would imagine like a thematic like Gengar list almost. Like it's like spooky, right? Like you wanna be a spooky guy, a scary bug man. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Yeah. I'm a fan of the list you described. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I need Malice Hunter.
How did your new experimental thing go? Are you ready to talk about it?
Oh, with the word bearers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Melon and I can talk about it. It's no problem. Melon and I were cobbling together some detachment ideas for word bearers beyond the initial one I've been playing with. And I tried to like fuse the two together, and I think it's too complicated. I think it's asking you to do too many things for like a pretty like, I don't know, average kind of like performance. And I don't mean that in like a bad way, because I'm not trying to advocate here like, oh, it should be reworked and made stronger. I think it could be restructured a little bit to probably just be more streamlined, easier to just more straightforward, right? Because the way the stratagems are structured and what I tried, it's just like a stratagem does this. If a demon's nearby, it does this. And if you have a token, it does this. Because I was trying to take 2 different detachment ideas and seeing if we can make just one singular word bearer's like perfect detachment. But I think they're better separated after that experiment, to be honest.
Gotcha.
That's the short of it. The game was fun. The game was certainly fun. I did lose to our baby seal buddy, but it's not a fault of the detachment. I just held on to assassinate for too long, and deployment error didn't help either. But I think the holding on to assassinate for too long was a bigger detriment in the long-term play of things.
Yeah.
You could hold on. You're getting more CP, and then that gives you other options elsewhere. And then I'm holding on to assassinate for so long, so now I feel like I have to do it. and then when I had the opportunity late in the game to get assassinate on Farsight, the jerk passed like 8 invulnerable saves.
Ugh.
And I was like, he has 2 wounds remaining. Well, now I'm not going to discard it for sure, right? Like, killing me. So it really stymied the score potential. Because I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I mean, whatever. Like, I was playing well. Like, I was denying primary and all of that, right? Like, I was playing well for me, let's say.
Yeah.
But the secondary scoring was hurting because I was just holding on to assassinate forever.
I don't, like, me personally, I try not to keep any secondaries that my opponent can influence.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Like, I'll keep, I can get behind enemy lines next turn, or, like, extend battle lines, or, like, things like that. But, like, if it's assassinate, especially as a trap, because you want to keep it because it's worth 5 points, right? Like, it's a lot. Or 4 points maybe now, I'm not sure. But like, if you had assassinate against me, I'm like, I'll just run away. Like, I'll literally run every character away because I'm now denying you 5 points. Me doing nothing is like net gain 5 points.
That's a good way to think about it, for sure. At the time, I was like, okay, for 1 turn, I don't mind keeping this. If he wants to keep the crisis suits away for a turn, like, I actually don't mind for 1 turn.
Yeah, I would maybe keep it, and then if he runs away, like, pay the CP to cycle it. But then, I mean, that's kind of like a 2 CP loss at that point too.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. I like that as a rule of thumb, what you described. That definitely makes the calculus a bit easier.
Yeah. Just
it was a good game. Like it was you know, I was sort of in the lead for most of it, but then by turn 5, I didn't have much left, and it was just like Tau running onto objectives and scoring, which felt very Tau. It felt very like how they would go with a demonic incursion. It was kind of cool.
What was he playing? Cao Yang, or what was he playing?
No, he was playing the Heroes of Battlesuits. I don't know what it's called. The Farsight Enclaves type one.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. He's so bitter about his duels though. It's so funny. I like playing him. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's down on them for sure.
I don't know why. Like,
I don't know.
It seems like silly to be. Well, I guess I'm one to fucking talk. Like I was in the same boat for Votan, but instead of just like banging my head against them over and over again to be like, why can't I make this work? Well, just stop playing them.
Yeah, he's got other armies to play too.
Yeah, he's a ton. He there was a stint where I was like, he's gonna buy more armies than I do.
He was talking. I can't remember what he was talking about. He was talking about one, and I was like, "Don't you do it!" He was gonna buy another Marine army. I was like, "Don't."
Was he?
That's the dumbest
Grey
thing.
Knights. Yeah, that's what he was thinking of, right?
Well, you can have mine.
Well, that's also a thing too, right? Like if you really want to try something else, like there's lots of us that would like. I would lend somebody an army, like.
Yeah, if it's someone in the inner play group, inner circle, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's enough of us that are like, I have this army. Do you want to try it? Here, go ahead. Here's the army. So, be free.
It's how a community should be. Well, like, I borrowed some Zinch Demons from Doc. It's in that spirit.
Nice.
Not a full army or anything, but, you know. Yeah, reach out to your buddies, try some stuff out. See if it pleases you. I think that's the way it ought to be.
Yeah, I've borrowed models from Bigler before too. When we went to that team tournament, to get the meta horror list, I was borrowing like more Forge Fiends and stuff.
Nice. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, well, especially because I was jumping on, like, I didn't want to play CSM. I wanted to play Death Watch, but
Oh yeah, but they have a rule for no.
Yeah, you're only allowed one, and Brandon wanted to play Templars, so I said, okay, I'll play CSM.
Dude, if you ever find an event where it's a team tournament with duplicates allowed, I think we should do something wild. Like a Pantheon of Chaos type team. That's so sick. That's so cool. That's
Tyranid
so cool.
High Fleet Invasion.
Yeah, dude, that's a real, like, that's exciting from a team tournament point of view. I don't even care if it's unbalanced. That looks sick. It's like Tyranid team over there. Yo, you guys see the fucking Imperium team? Yo, they're crazy. It's so exciting. It's so exciting, right? Shit.
Yeah, I agree. That is pretty fun.
Fucking Orcs team over there? Holy crap.
Yeah, it'd be pretty neat if they did everybody has to pick just one faction, like only one faction allowed for the team. Like it's just 5 Orc players, 5 Tyranid players, 5 Space Marine players, 5 Chaos Space Marines.
I would do that in a narrative event.
It would have to be.
Like, just know, if you went to like even a semi-competitive event, there'd just be some prick who ruined the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it would have to be framed as a narrative event, right? And you would hope that, here's the Eldar team, and then they only have one detachment, and it's very strong right now, and you have to hope that they're not just playing the same army, all of them, right? The competitive variant. Like, maybe one craft world can justify it thematically or narratively to have the Wraith block, right? If they all have it, that's like, well, you know, that's they're ruining the fun.
Yeah.
Shit. That's true. Very true.
Oh, just a early heads up in case I get distracted. I'm gonna hop off around 9 tonight.
Oh, that's we were
we
talking about that. Funnily enough, want to wrap up a bit early.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll be done at 9 anyway.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm a little under the weather. My medicine's kicking my butt.
He's getting drunk on his medicine.
I can't help it.
It's how it works. It's how you know it's working.
So many shining spears. They're so old.
Are they plastic or are they metal?
Plastic and fine cast.
Not a fan of the fine cast, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll make sure not to microwave it.
Or do, I don't care. You're just getting them for nothing anyway.
I wouldn't disrespect your gift. It's all good, man. I haven't been into the leaning into outdoor bikes all that much. I have those Shroud Runners just because of the box set that I picked up.
Your Phoenix Force.
No.
Your Aspect Warriors.
Don't do this.
I'm just saying, a Shining Spear is an Aspect Warrior.
This
Don't
is
you
true.
fucking forget it. And you know what else is an Aspect Warrior?
Fucking
the Crimson Hunter.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Crimson Hunter.
listen, you're gonna have to eventually get Shining Spears and at least one airplane, okay?
I don't want. I do not. I like them as infantry guys. They're so cool.
No,
man.
you're ruining Christmas.
Okay, maybe there's a spin-off movie from the Phoenix Force Avengers. You know, like a Disney Plus TV series type thing where we just get a Shining Spear add-on. Okay, but I don't know about the plane.
Listen, in one of the Avengers, Black Widow rides a motorcycle. In one of the Avengers, somebody drives the fucking airplane. You're going to have a Crimson Hunter, and you're going to have a Shining Spear unit. They're cheap as chips, and you shut your mouth.
The Crimson Hunter. God.
And then you're going to have an Avatar of Kane, because then that completes the whole thing, the whole trifecta.
I would. Well, funny you say that. I do adore the idea of like an avatar list. If they made more avatars, then you could have like a monster mash battle against greater demons, which would be sick.
Yeah, you can only have one.
There's only. Yeah, you'd have to just kind of write it off, right? Like,
yeah,
get the named ones, and then have a cool night fight type thing.
Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty fun. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Avatar's coming back is like Primarch's coming back. Like, don't hold your breath.
Yeah. That's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not I much prefer Phoenix Lords coming back. More greater priority.
Yeah,
because they
sure.
exist and they look like doo-doo.
Listen, I'm looking at little baby Karandras right now, and he's just a little adorable little fella. His big old head and his tiny little baby body.
Yeah, he's so top heavy.
Yeah, he is the dumbest second edition model I've ever seen in my life. Or third edition, whenever he came out. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, most people I've seen convert him. They just take his head off and put it on like a new Scorpion body.
Yeah, I think that's a right choice, probably. Yeah. Especially if you have the new models and like this so awkward, like the sizing issue, right?
Yeah.
It's just weird for GW to not even show or tease a Karandras on the way. After the Scorpions have come out months ago, and it's like, well, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just think that they shouldn't release the Aspect Warrior without their leader.
That makes sense. That's a reasonable idea.
They should just be released as like little package deals. If this is like their whole idea for Eldar is to just like piecemeal the entire book out for whatever fucking reason, I don't know.
Seems like they want to do it that way. And every other, Mog and Ra, Janzar all came out with their redone squads. So why?
Some a little later than other, like
Janzar.
Right? Yeah, Janzar didn't come out at the same time as the Banshees. The Banshees got classic.
Oh shit! I thought they were all in that box set with Drazar. So that was all one big battle box type situation.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you're right.
I can't remember honestly. Like I'm open to.
No, you know what? You're probably right. I don't remember. The drugs are kicking in. Yeah, Maganra came out with that big wave of new Reapers as well. Shining Spears came out, but I mean, they've never had a Phoenix Lord, which is too bad. Because
that'd be a model, man. I tell you.
It'd be cool, because the stupid part about Shining Spears is you can't put a Autarch on Jet Bike with them. Not allowed to go in there.
Yeah, Autarchs aren't allowed to go with Aspect Warrior units, despite having once been Aspect Warriors.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, cool. I picked Manda Blasters and Scorpion Chainsword on the motherfucker, and he's not allowed to go with Scorpions. Like, not the bike one, but like the foot one. Like
the foot one, exactly.
Or the Banshee Mask or the Swooping Hawk Wings. Like, he's got all these fucking things.
It should. Oh, God, it should. You're getting me fucking going here. Oh, that is painful. Dude.
Yeah. As as it stands, that's the reason why the Jump Autarch is so good, is he didn't have to go with anybody. Even the foot one is not the greatest, because he has to go with Guardians. Like, that's all he can go with.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if anybody has, like, shot, like, any gun at a Guardian, but it's really not that hard to kill.
Oh, not at all.
You might even kill them by accident, like the whole squad, and then it's just him by himself. And then, yeah, the bike one, I saw this funny thing. The bike one's only saving grace is his ability works even off the table, so you can leave him in reserve for the entire game and still just generate a CP.
Oh my God.
The wording is very strict. The wording is very strict on both Autarchs. The one with the jump pack says he has to be on the table. The one on the bike says he does not have to be on the table. So if you really just wanted to spend 105 points on an Autarch that gives you 5 CP over the course of the game or whatever,
it's so funny.
That's fine. But he does sweet fuck all. Like, he has a terrible melee profile, and he doesn't do anything else. Like, he's so not good.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing a list build video for Samehon with like all bikes and Autarchs and Farseers and Conclaves on bikes, because there's enough biker or mounted units, right? But
yeah.
For the reasons you're describing, the Autarch did not spark much joy. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Honestly, it'd be better to just take like a couple of Farseers on bike rather than an Autarch. But yeah, like, you can do like a pretty neat like Samehon style list, like, 3 Fire Prisms, 3 maxed out units of bikes, a couple of Farseers on bikes, a couple of Warlocks on bikes. I'm like kind of like into the idea of the Conclave, the Biker Conclave. It's only 3 models, like it's 3 Warlocks, but it's 3 pretty strong, like more or less heavy flamers that they shoot, and they get -1 to wound, so it's okay, and they all have 4 pinball, and Fate dice can really skew with that. And then they all get a Destructor, like a spell or a smite or some shit like that. Anyway, and like a bunch of Singing Spears. Like, they put out like okay shooting, and okay melee threat, but like it is only 3 models in a Farseer. But I mean, it's more guys on bikes. I like Shining Spears. I think at 100 points, the Shining Spear's only downside, the new Shining Spear, because I have the old ones. The old ones are on the regular 32 mil flying stand for mine.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in between, they decided to put them on big 60 mil flight stands, and that just stuck. And that's their only downside, is they have that as their base, and they're so clunky to like get around, even though they're jet bikes.
But yeah, the Shroud Runners are the same way. They're all 60s.
Yeah, Shroud Runners though have a gun.
Valid.
Shining Spear have like a pistol,
a javelin.
And one of them has a shuriken cannon. But yeah, like the Shroud Runners are okay because like you don't really want to get into melee with them, but like the fucking Shining Spears want to get into melee, and their base size is just such a fucking hindrance. And because they can't go through walls, they got to go around a long way.
Oh, that's so shitty because of fly nerf would circumvent that before, or the fly rule would have circumvented it before.
Why? Like, let's like talk about this a little bit. Why do you think they did that? Like, did somebody get hurt at Games Workshop by like a flying army? Like, was that fucking much of a...
Like, there were awkward things for, like, the repulsor, if you recall. But I think the obvious solution, and I might have said it at the time, is, like, have a hover keyword for that kind of shit. Right?
Sure, yeah.
That, you know, ignores fucking difficult terrain or whatever at the time that existed, right? But still, you can't fly over buildings, because why would you, right?
Yeah. Or, like, let's go into the, like, the depths of this, like, the terrain, like the terrain idea. You know how some of the models are getting this, like, oh, if it's under 4 inches, it can crawl over it, right?
Yep.
Like the Defiler. Why not fly key units can move over, let's say a little higher, right? Let's say things that are above, I don't know, 6 inches. And then the tables could have 2 pieces that you just can't fly over. Like 2 that are like
tall buildings or whatever. Yeah, like super large scale.
Yeah. But like just the idea of it is so fucking stupid. Like cuz this is the only edition where the fly keyword or the fly ability is an actual fucking detriment unless you are an infantry.
Yeah, well, because then you're going through walls because you're infantry, not because you're fly. Like it's
exactly. But like even the idea of that is stupid in terms of like the like cinematic idea of it is like my jump pack guy just like fucking gets down onto the ground and like barrels through the fucking wall and then goes back up into fucking like the sky. I guess it's cool like when you say it, but like why can't my fucking jet bike fucking blast through an open window? Like I don't know. Like
no, you're not wrong. I think fly should be like the utility of flight in warfare. Like it should be really good.
Yeah.
And I honestly think you balance it with anti-fly, like weapons, right?
The anti-fly stuff in the game right now is terrible. Like it's
because fly is terrible.
Most of the time the anti-fly stuff is just to offset like negatives to hit or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm speaking to more of like building off of the idea you're talking about. Like if fly was good, then you'd have like, you know, your anti-fly weapons are very, very meaningful.
Yeah.
Or at least more so.
Yeah, because like let's think right now, like so anti-fly giving them, you know, whatever, a set wound characteristic on a fly keyword thing. But most of them are like autocannons anyway, so it's like you were gonna wound me better anyway on my infantry. This is just helping you on like flying tanks or flying monsters. And then it's like, oh, fucking sweet. Amazing. I'm so glad I have anti-fly here for all these
the concept of anti, I think it's in new AOS, and I think it works differently, and it might be working better over there. The idea is good, right? Because it's speaking to this thing we've talked about before, where there's no concept of weaknesses in the game. Even like, we were talking more about faction rules, but even from like a profile, like take it back to old school Fire Emblem, where you have like rock paper scissors type attributes. That's like, oh, this type is more, these types of weapons are more effective against these types of units, right? That's kind of the The whole I can see an anti-keyword type system filling, but it doesn't work in practice like at all right now.
No, I don't think so.
It's just you have the right keyword.
Yeah, it's mostly like anti-anything. You're just looking for like those like buzzwords to like key off of each other. So anti and then dev, and then you just like slam.
Yeah.
You know, automatic mortal wounds into this one thing, or you know, things that are like of the meta right now. Like I was listening to one of the podcasts. I didn't realize that the Dragoon from AdMech has anti-walker as its melee profile.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. It's unique.
If you think about it, the meta is a lot of walkers like that are strong, right? Like the Doomsday Stalker from Necrons, that it's like Necron's like one of their best anti-tank profiles, is a walker. What else was a walker?
All dreads are walkers, right?
All dreads are walkers. Venom crawlers are walkers. But yeah, there are more things that are walker related that profile wants to go into. And then even if you were to go into something like a Land Raider, you know, nothing was really going to fucking help anyway, because their AP isn't the highest, and the strength couldn't reach a certain threshold to like make it, you know, wound on 4s or wound on 3s. They're just here's like my 15 attacks from my Sidonian Dragoons, and I hope I roll a couple of 5s and 6s. And you fail your 3-up save or your 2-up save if you KOC. But yeah, anyway, so this is like an example of like weird situations for anti-something that, again, only meta dependent is it like good, and then outside of that, it's laughable, right? Like anti-walker.
Do you recall offhand what AOS 4's anti-system, how it works?
So their anti-system is
it hits? Or
it's usually for spiking some sort of like you know how we get sustained, like that's theirs, or like plus to AP. Mm-hmm. That's their anti-system. It's not so much to guarantee a wound or something like that. It's just to do like an additive effect on top of your already pre-existing damage,
like rolling 6s for extra AP or something.
Yeah, that's a lot of the profiles from the new AOS do that, or extra damage, and like they're a lot of anything with basically a lance that's on a horseback gets this like bonus damage when they charge. They get like an anti to infantry bonus damage only when they charge. But it's never, from what I've looked at, and I haven't looked at a ton of stuff. I'm sure somebody will fucking correct me, but from what it looks like, it's not making it easier to wound something. It's just making it more likely it will wound it, like once the damage connects.
Right.
Which I guess is more tasteful, I guess, because now you're not skewing like because their wound system is way different than ours, because they don't have toughness. They don't have a toughness.
Yeah, they're it's just an. I used to not like. I used to like rail on that shit. I was like, oh, it's so stupid. You're just wounding. If I fight a giant, I'm wounding at the same rate as a Skaven with my Stormcast or whatever, right? And I used to say that's dumb, but you know what? As time has gone on, I think it might be the right way to go. Honestly,
they do their defensive profiles better than ours, though. From like how I've seen it, is like so like. The Gargants, like the giants, they have just a ludicrous amount of fucking wounds, like something like 30 wounds or some shit like that, like a lot of, like more than a knight, like more than a Imperial Knight. So like the things like a bunch of Skaven going into a Gargant, you might pull, I don't know, a handful of wounds off of him, but he's still like way over capacity. Most of like the big centerpiece models just have a ludicrous amount of wounds.
Yeah, it might be a case where because ranged combat is rarer in AOS, they can have that system and have it not be as problematic. That could be possible too. But I really like the idea where you have weapon profiles and you're not having to like almost arbitrarily decide, okay, no, to bump this unit or this faction, we're going to give AP bonuses and not wound bonuses or strength bonuses. Like,
yeah,
there's it's like too muddy in terms of your buffs, and then you have weird weapons like autocannons that are AP1, and they're just so lacking in their ability to like yield damage, even though it's like, hey, that the strength is adequate, but the AP is not adequate. So you have these two conditions that you need to fulfill if your weapon's good. And this is where I begin to look at AOS and I'm like, that seems interesting because, like, fair enough, you wound everything the same, but you know, a deadly weapon is a deadly weapon, and then if the profiles are right, well, look, you still have a saving throw that protects your high durable target, right? And the amount of wounds you have.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like, if you have a whole bunch of shitty horde units of, like, goblins trying to take down a Gargant, then I would imagine those attacks have poor rend because there's so many of them, and then they probably are 1 damage, and this guy probably has a pretty good saving throw for all these low-quality attacks anyways.
Yep. Yeah, usually, like, there was a stint in the past of, like, Age of Sigmar where, like, you could get that, like, threshold of, like, damage output from these units to be, like, really, really high. Like, the small stint that I did play, things like Skaven or Goblins or whatever, you had so many stacking buffs that you could feasibly one-tap a big, like, named guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
That's fair.
That's kind of gone now from what I've seen. Like, it's kind of like if you play poorly, it's gonna happen anyway. Like, if you put your guy out there, like if you just put, I don't know, Archaon, like out in the middle of the board, and like you're looking at your entire opponent's army, and they put everything into him. Yeah, he's probably gonna die, right? But
yep. Well, yeah, okay, that's fairly reasonable.
Single unit or maybe 2 units skirmishing into Archaon, or like even like two fairly bigger units, they're probably not going to kill him. Like, he's fairly tough.
Yeah, he's a big deal.
He is a big deal. He's what Abaddon wishes he was.
Hey,
I'm just gonna throw it out here. Archaon destroyed the world. He was successful.
He won, yeah.
Yeah, it was a one and done. Bing bang boom, end time's done.
That'd be unreal. I'd be okay with a 40k reset if Abaddon was the one who did it.
Such a fanboy.
End times is sick for that too. Like, as much as end times sucked for like someone like me who's like old fantasy.
From a narrative point of view, it was pretty hype, I would imagine.
Oh, it was crazy. It was super cool. And, like, Chaos was just always winning. Like, always winning. And I was playing Chaos at the time, too. So
of course you were.
Yeah. Because I played Beasts of Chaos and Warriors of Chaos and, like, a little bit of Demons. And, yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, this is sick. But, yeah, at the end of it, it was those books I'll keep forever. Like, they were such cool, like, narrative pieces. But I actually did look online because I have the hardcover for all of them. Like, if I did want to sell them, I could make pretty hefty bank on those because they are a hot commodity.
Oh.
But yeah, if they wanted, not to say I want the exact doom and gloom of the end times, like where like, you know, GW just like full reset the whole thing. I did like the narrative of it, and I would really like the narrative of it if they just like killed off characters too.
Oh, dude.
But they won't. Like,
yeah.
They had such like Marnius Calgar.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how likable he becomes if he died for what he believed in? It'd be so good.
Man. You know how impactful it would be? Oh.
It's
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of has to, well, because like I've always been like pretty annoyed with the primarisification of everything, and the fact that they just all live too, right? Like the whole idea of like crossing the Rubicon was like, it's like a 1% chance or whatever the fuck it was in the lore.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Of survival. Yeah, it seems to be 100 out of 100% chance that all the named characters pass. Kasera Khan, fucking no name Tor Garadon, but like Torgaradon was a fucking sergeant at one point, and then I guess got captain, and then it's like, I'm gonna cross the Rubicon. I'm a fucking cool guy with my big fist hand. Things like that, right? Like, if just any old schmuck can fucking cross the Rubicon, and it's okay. Yeah, even someone like Dante. I love Dante, but Dante's 1,000 fucking ancient ballsack years old, and he crossed the fucking Rubicon and survived.
I was listening to Spear of the Emperor.
Oh yeah.
So Spears is this chapter, and they like it's a few years old, but they were retconning, and even then they're like they this like what person in the book goes into a cave, and there's all these mutated and failed Primaris, but like. Well, that was earlier on in the process before, and like they literally say those words, and like,
it was all bullshit. They needed to backpedal Primaris because it was such a hard sell, right? They needed to make it seem like and rightfully so, but they should have just called a spade a spade.
Yeah. Oh well. I'm just all in for Tyranids. Just keep on trucking bugs.
Yep.
I just need like one kit, maybe 2 kits updated, and then we're Gucci. I don't need them to do nothing with Tyranids for the rest of my days of playing this game. I need the Raveners to be updated, and I would like the Carnifex to be updated, but I know they're probably not going to fucking do it, so...
It'll happen.
If I would have loved, and I'm still hoping it's true, the old One-Eye rumor of a new model, imagine a new Carnifex kit of a multi-part, basically like a Redemptor Dreadnought sized kit with options for the Carnifex, right? And I don't want it to look like the Screamer Killer, make it look like the proper Carnifex, but just to the right size.
Yeah. I would like that too.
Awesome.
I would also enjoy that. It would be very nice. Here's my money.
Yeah, and then you have these old Carnifexes that are just in Legends, and everyone has to buy 12 new cards. Each one's $100. Fuck.
I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. I just start sticking old Carnifexes on my Bio Titans.
Yeah. It's you don't have to. It's just a funny prospect to think about.
Yeah, I have a box of just really old Tyranid models, the old Termagants, the old Hormagaunts, everything old, and I've just put them in a box, and I labeled the box base material. So whenever, because I have a big, what's the size of this? 12-inch diameter dowel, wooden dowel for my Hierophant. And I've got a bunch of cork and shit modeled up on it. I have an old Wraith Knight I was gonna throw on there, one I chewed up, the one I gave you the legs for.
Right.
Because it was a big piece of shit.
Still have those legs, by the way.
Oh yeah, whatever you want to use them for, whatever. And so on that base, I was gonna put pretty much a small Tyranid army on there because it's such a big model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even on my Harpy, or my Harridan, sorry, I have spots for gargoyles to fly with them. I have some old gargoyles that have been busted up a little bit. Some of the wing spines are busted off, but it doesn't matter. They're just gonna go on the fucking base. Just because it makes it a little more dynamic. These
Oh, I'm into it. I like how you do your Tyranid bases with the little bugs.
Yeah, there's more bugs.
Yeah. The swarm, they are numberless.
Yeah, it does make it feel that way. I have so many Ripper swarms that I never, because I had the Forge World Ripper bases, so
they're so good.
Yeah, so I've never needed the little Ripper Swarm singular models, so they just go on bases all the time. Whole Termagants. Funny enough, I used to chirp how terrible the what's that gun that Termagants have that's like their hands, like just their
Spine Fist. I love Spine Fist. They're so cool.
Okay, Spine Fists are the best option for Termagants right now. Like if you were to run just when people were running Endless Swarm, they just ran all Spine Fists, and it made me like fucking like just like a switch like turn in my head and make me so angry because like Spine Fists have been just a laughing stock of like a weapon for since third edition. Like they've just been so hot garbage.
What's the value like for?
They're twin linked.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So they're just it's just a massive amount of shots that are twin linked, and like especially in Endless Swarm, and like if you do bring a Tervagon gives them lethal hits. If they don't get the lethal hit part, you're getting the twin link part on the wounds.
Yeah, and it was an army that was like struggling to punch up anyways, so
yeah, and with 120 Termagants with all Spine Fish, you could just wail into one thing. And I still think they had the pistol keyword, so prior to Pariah Nexus, you could do a bunch of other shit, right? Like do actions, shoot in combat, shooting like the melee.
Yeah, Twin Linked is another rule I fucking hate. I'm like, why is it this way, man?
Twin Link wasn't like that before. Twin Link was.
Yeah, it's just. I feel like
reroll hits.
I feel like almost every instance, except for like the outliers, like you just described, I look at a weapon and I'm like, oh, it's twin linked. I wish it just shot twice.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess it's actually just a simple answer. It's any of the weapons which are lacking volume, which would have had that volume prior, because the attack sequence favors volume. You're hurting when you look at that twin linked. You're like, I'm already wounded pretty well. I just kind of wish I'd have another shot here, right?
I don't know, man. You had 8 last cannons. That still shits the bed.
Yeah, that you can't help the Spartan. It's cursed.
Would you rather four twin linked? Right.
Oh yeah. So I missed 3 out of 4, and then I might wound with 1. Maybe. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's
it's the way they did it.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
They use the buzzword of twin link for like the old timey guys like myself.
Oh, twin link's back, sick.
Yeah, but it's not reroll hits, it's reroll wounds. But any instance of twinned weapons are now twin linked.
Except for when they're not. They're so lame.
Except for when they're not.
Yeah. They're very picky and choosy. Like the Ballistus Dread. Oh, that last cannon's not twin linked.
That's garbage.
Yeah. How come? Because they know. They know that unit needs an extra shot.
True.
Because you're tank weapon. Like it can't. It's trying to kill vehicles, and it's like, oh, my potential damage is D6 plus 1. It's inadequate. I can't.
Yeah. I was like mulling it over for the last little while. I'm probably gonna keep my GSC just as like a
fun army, casual play.
Well, no, just because like I collect Tyranids as a whole, and it's like I'm just gonna have them as like attached to my Tyranid. Maybe one day, you know? Yeah, maybe one day like they'll be allowed to like mix and match again. Not that I particularly want that, but I'm just gonna keep them off to the side. I'll play around with them every now and then if we do like hobby stuff or like hobby challenge or do like mini wargaming events.
Some sort of event. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you want to play Tyranids or somebody's bringing Tyranids, I can bring GSC. And you know what? Rules change. Maybe I'll get Crossfire back at some time. They fixed AdMech. GSC looks like hot diarrhea right now, but that can change.
Oh, so you're telling me there's a chance?
I don't know. Maybe.
Dang, I mean, AdMech. I'm just playing.
AdMech seems pretty good right now, or not pretty good, but like
better for it.
Which is nice. Way better.
which is good.
I did laugh when they had their shit come out because it was like I didn't fully grasp how their like Doctrina works, but no, I mean having a better ballistic skill or weapon skill rather than +1 to hit across the board is like much more powerful.
Sorry, say that again.
Their Doctrina is like additive to their ballistic skill, not +1 to hit, so it's better.
Oh yeah, dude, the way it should be for bad skill armies. Not bad skill, average skill armies. Like you need to, like how Tau Marker Lights make their weapon skill or ballistic skill better, not just +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So now you have the tools like elsewhere to add +1 to hit, and you can fight at parity with the best of them. You have to work a bit more because you're not a Space Marine, or an Eldar, but that seems par for the course. It seems appropriate for a high-tech augmented army, right?
For sure.
Which Tau, it describes Tau, it describes Admech. I think you can make an argument it describes Votann as well, but Votans don't have that yet. But it's possible. No. It's possible a codex comes out and they're like, oh yeah, it turns out maybe you shouldn't be like such poor skill.
Yeah. So yeah, that's if since Admech got that, I'm okay with how GSC are right now, and I'm sure they'll get a little better later on. I'll just keep them in the back burner as like a little side hobby thing for
nice
to pair with my Tyranids.
I like your GSC and the memes of the she's running
Their
all
bikes?
right. Yeah. Or even Muscle Beach. Yeah, that's fun too.
I love Muscle Beach. I think they're fun. Not very good, but they're fun. Do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we put a good bit of progress in for an evening. That's pretty good.
The blends are looking hot.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be like a week long project, maybe more. Who knows? I want to do a good job on this one.
For sure. It's a nice one.
Yeah. I think the colors are. I think the dark blue is a good choice. It's like a Spider-Man kind of color scheme, so it's like, oh, that's appropriate, right? Spiders.
Yep.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, you get
Spider-Man's
it.
Good.
I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
Love it. Sorry. Anyways, let's wrap her up. To anyone who is here at the end, you guys are the real heroes. Good hobby hustle to everyone who joined us, and we'll be back streaming tomorrow probably. I see a weirdo named Sean in chat is asking where the fuck did that Tavish guy go? How rude.
Yeah, what happened?
How rude. Guess we'll have to solve that mystery on future hobby call. See ya.
Bye.